So I am off to see Ben Huthwaite and John, and we're going to talk about how to launch his Matte Stuff business, right? Now, Matte Stuff is a hair product. Now, it is super competitive, this market. Every man and his dog seems to be making skincare and hair care products, and it is controlled by some rather big players. There are a lot of amazing skincare products and amazing hair care products that never actually make it because it is so competitive. So having a great product is not enough. Now, where Ben has a really great advantage is in his customer base. I was at his salon and I shot a little video of who uses his products. And if you're a Liverpool Football Club fan, you will seriously recognize most of those people. Obviously, Liverpool Football Club are not endorsing the product. The fact that Ben has such a celebrity clientele in quite a niche market maybe gives this product a chance to do something that so many products fail to do, and that is sell. Time will tell. Yeah, Ben, as you can see these photos, right? This is like the who's who of Premiership football comes and gets their haircut here.
Just a bit of a morning routine. Smooth the beard down.
I'd like to say that Matte Stuff's named after me.
When you're doing any styling of your hair prior to using Matte Stuff, if you want a certain look, it's good to use a hairdryer because a hairdryer puts the foundation into your hair that you would normally not get through using a wax. I always say when you use your hairdryer, just exaggerate the hairstyle a bit. You know, so you get loads of lift in the roots. Get a small blob on your finger.
You're just rubbing that in your hands.
All the way through. So it's applied evenly to your hands, and then you gently circulate your hands on your scalp, and then just flatten it down where you don't want it to stick up. Then use your fingers like a big comb, the claw, and then
Jim Carrey.
Gently put it into the way you want it. Kind of sculpt it in the direction you want it. Because what you've done, you've applied the product evenly. It's a simple product. It does what it says on the tin, and it's Matte Stuff. Get it here. Get it here.
Shoulders the backs graduating and take all of the weight out of it.
So, question of the vlog. Let's talk about time management. Now, for this, principle number one, I need a visual aid. You may have come across this analogy before. We have 24 hours in a day. Now, if I fill this with sand and then try and fit in pebbles and then try and fit in the big rocks, I'm never going to do it. So what we have to do is put the big rocks, ball of string, a doorbell, an empty jar of honey, big rocks in the jug first. We can then take our medium-sized stones, and as you see, they fit around the bigger rocks. And then I can take my sand or desiccated coconut, and then that'll fit around those rocks. In other words, we have to put in place those things which are the most important and make sure we do those first, right? We have to prioritize the big rocks. So what are those going to be? Things like date night with your wife or partner, seems important. Time with the kids, health, going to the gym, all of those kind of things, right? Big rocks, get them in first, put them in the diary, and make sure that they happen. They're usually the first things to go when life gets busy, but you just have to make sure they happen first. Then your medium-sized rocks or your work meetings and appointments. And then all the little things like mowing the lawn, watching TV, all of those kind of things, right? Big rocks first. Principle number two, or top tip number two, is inbox zero. I am not particularly great at this. It is a methodology that I like. There are lots out there which you can choose from. I particularly like that one, which is where you try and get your inbox to 0 emails by the end of the day. And all your emails are filed, they're in your task list, or you've delegated them to somebody, or you've deleted them. What is it? Defer, delegate, delete, DD. I can't remember. Anyway, something like that. I'm not particularly great at it. Normally I'm about inbox 15, but Sometimes I manage to get it down to 0, and that works for me. Just helps me stay organized and stay on top of things, because when you feel organized, you feel like you can control time a little bit better. It's when you've got emails and post-it notes and a to-do list, and you've got something in your calendar, and things just feel totally overwhelming and out of control. Get everything into one list, one place, inbox down to 0, and you feel like you have at least some element of control. Granted, it might not be real, but at least you feel it. So, number 1, big rocks first. Number 2, inbox 0. And number 3, recognize seasons. Recognize seasons. What do I mean by that? We all go through different seasons in life, right? Sometimes we go through super hyper busy seasons. Sometimes it's not so busy. Sometimes the whole world is caving in on us. Sometimes everything in life seems to be going right. You just need to recognize what season you're in and then make adjustments for that and make plans for that. But here's my top tip. If you're in a busy season, make sure it is just a season. There is in fact an end to it. And if you are in a busy season, make sure you communicate with your family as much as possible where you're at and when the estimated time of completion is, because they will want to know that, and hopefully they'll give you the space for that. But there is that expectation that obviously that season is going to come to an end, and when you're not in such a crazy busy season, well then that's when you spend a little bit more time with the family and you do those things that you couldn't do during that time. Okay, so number 1, big rocks first. Number 2, inbox 0. Number 3, recognize the season that you're in and plan for it. Hope that answers the question, how do I do time management? I am, of course, going to record a podcast on this and actually dive into this in a little bit more detail. So if you want to know more about how I do time management, check out the podcast.